Welcome students again into the chemistry class. Now today we are learning the chapter number 12 of 11th science, that is the chemical equilibrium. Now you know the equilibrium, that is the balance. Now in chemistry also there is the equilibrium into the chemical reactions. But in which reactions this equilibrium is there? Now the reactions which can proceed to both the directions, that is from reactant to products and again after some time from product to reactants. That means these reactions do not undergo to completion completely, but a equilibrium stage is come in these reactions when the rate of the forward reaction, that is from reactant to product, and rate of backward reaction, that is from product to reactant, becomes equals. That means how many moles of the reactants are changed into products and exactly similar number of molecules are changed into the reactant again. At that time, there is the dynamic equilibrium is achieved by such reactions, and that reactions are called as the reversible reaction. We learn up to 10 standard about the irreversible reaction, such as conversion of milk into the curd. Curd is not again converted into milk, we know that. Again there are some reaction, that is spreading of the smoke from burning essence stick to the into the whole room and diffusion of the fragrance of the flowers. This is also, that is the irreversible type of change. Again waterfall, natural waterfall. From that, water is flow from higher level to lower level. But not again the water can go from lower level to higher level naturally until we used the water pump. Now, such reactions which are going to completion and which are going to only in a one direction up to one of the reactant get exhausted or consumed, and they stop only when the reactants get exhausted or they may be consumed, and they always go to the completion. Such reactions are the irreversible reactions. Now we have to first learn about this reversible reaction. In the text they are given here one of the example or illustration, that dissolve 4 gram of cobalt chloride in 40 ml of water, then that solution acquires reddish pink color. That means there is formation of cobalt hydrate complex is formed of the pink color, reddish pink color. And if we add 60 ml of concentrated HCl into that test tube, then what happen? There is formation of cobalt chloride complex, and the color of that mixture becomes violet. That means pink color is converted into the violet color. It will turn violet. Again, if we take the 5 ml of this cobalt chloride solution in the test tube, or place it into the beaker of the ice water, then the color of the solution becomes pink again. And if we the same test tube, if containing that or the beaker containing the water, if we heat it up to 90 degrees centigrade, then the color again becomes blue. Now that is the violet. Now this is the reversible reaction. That is, in that reaction pink color is converted into the blue color, and again on that cooling, that blue colored solution, cobalt chloride solution, converted into cobalt hydrate complex solution, that is the pink color solution. Now such reactions are the reversible reaction. Now these many of the chemical reactions are reversible reaction. Natural reactions are irreversible. Sorry. They are all the natural reaction where the sophisticated instruments are not required, because for reversible reactions sophisticated instruments are required. And the naturally occurring reactions such as conversion of, that is the carbon, or burning of the carbon in the presence of oxygen to give carbon dioxide, this is the irreversible reaction. Now let us study first the reversible reaction. How we can define the reversible reaction? The reaction which do not go to completion, reaction which do not go to completion and occur in both the directions simultaneously is called as the reversible reaction. The reaction which occur in both the directions simultaneously and the reaction which do not go to the completion is the reversible reaction. So the reaction which do not go to completion and which occur in both directions simultaneously is called as the reversible reaction. Now generally reversible reactions are represented by double-headed arrow, half arrow and to below that again the half arrow. Now the upper half arrow points from reactant to product and the lower half arrow points from products to reactants. Now this is the general representation of the reversible reaction. Suppose A plus B, these are the two reactants, and C plus D, these are the products. Then the reaction which occurs from reactants to products is, this half reaction is called as the forward reaction. That means the half arrow pointing from reactant to product is the forward reaction, and the arrow which points from product to reactants, and that reaction is called as the backward reaction, or it is also called as the reverse reaction. So the double arrow indicate that the reaction is reversible. It is carried to both the direction. Now it occurs in both directions simultaneously. For example, hydrogen gas and iodine gas, when reacts with each other, there is formation of hydrogen iodide. But this reaction is reversible because this hydrogen iodide again decompose into the hydrogen and iodine again. So this is the reversible reaction. The direction from reactant to product is the forward direction. This is the forward direction or forward reaction. The direction from reactant to product is the forward reaction, and whereas the opposite reaction from products to reactants is the reverse or backward reaction. Now learn again the irreversible reaction. How can then we define these irreversible reaction, such as that is the natural waterfall only goes from upper level to the lower level. Now that is the irreversible type of change. Now in this, the reaction which occur only in one direction, namely from reactant to products, is called as the irreversible reaction. The reaction which occur only in a one direction from reactant to product is called as the irreversible reaction. For example, formation of carbon dioxide gas from carbon solid and oxygen. This is denoted by only that is the single arrow. So the reaction is indicated by a single arrow in this way, and which is pointing from reactant toward the products. Now irreversible reaction goes to completion, always go to completion until the reactants are exhausted. Now after the consumption or exhaustion of the reactant, this reaction get completed. That is the irreversible reaction. Now let us learn about the reactions which are represented by which are the irreversible and which are the reversible reaction. Here given the general representation of this calcium carbonate, that is the decomposition of calcium carbonate. CaCO3 calcium carbonate can decompose, and after heating it gives calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas. Now that is the irreversible reaction. The solid gives calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas. Now this is the solid, that is calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas. Now this is the irreversible reaction. Remember that decomposition of calcium carbonate into the calcium oxide and carbon dioxide is the irreversible reaction. And again there is the reaction if we carried out this reaction in an open container. Remember that the same reaction if we carried out into the open container, then it is the irreversible reaction. But the same reaction may becomes reversible if we carried out this decomposition into the closed container. Then that reaction becomes here irreversible reaction. Remember that. That is the difference only about the decomposition of the calcium carbonate. If it carried out into the open container, the reaction is irreversible. That is only it goes to completion in only one direction, that is from reactant to product. And if we carried out this decomposition of calcium carbonate into the closed container, then there is the this reaction is reversible. That is it occurs in both of the direction, forward and backward. Again the calcium oxide and carbon dioxide when reacts, they again give the calcium carbonate into the closed container. Now let us learn about the equilibrium in the physical processes. How there is the equilibrium in the physical process, and then we will see the equilibrium in the chemical process. Now pay attention here, students. Now let us learn the equilibrium in physical processes. Now you know the equilibrium, that is the balance. Equilibrium means balance. Now in physical processes means the process in which the chemical substances only changes their states and not the chemical constituents. That means, for example, water, liquid water converted into water vapor or ice converted into water, or on cooling water converted into the ice. These are the physical processes, such processes in which the substance remains in the same that is the chemical constituents, but their only states are changes. Now first learn about the liquid vapor equilibrium, and this is learned very nicely by taking the example of water and water vapor. Now see here, let us now look at the reversible physical process, that is the evaporation of water. Now if there is the water is taken into a closed container, this is the conical class. Now it is closed, there is the core to the this that is the conical class. Now here is the water. Initially the water evaporates very slowly, but after most of the time is gone, then what is there? After some time there are so many water vapors are there into the latter, into that conical class. Latter means after some time. Now that is the rate of evaporation increases. Now what happened there? Initially there is practically no vapor into the vessel. Very less vapors are there. When a liquid evaporates in a closed container, the liquid molecule escape from the liquid surface into the vapor phase, into the space of the conical class. Now these vapors also condense back and go into the liquid state because the container is closed. But at the beginning, in the beginning or initially, the rate of evaporation is very high and the rate of condensation is low. Very less molecule condense and go into the liquid state again. But with the time, as more and more vapors are formed, the rate of evaporation goes down then, and the rate of condensation increases. But eventually, the two rates become equal. One time comes when the two rates, rate of evaporation and rate of condensation, becomes equal. And this state is known as the equilibrium state. Remember that. When the rate of evaporation becomes equal to the rate of condensation, then that state is called as the equilibrium state. Now, this gives rise to a constant vapor pressure. We know that the pressure exerted on the surface of the liquid we called as the saturated vapor pressure or vapor pressure. But in case of water, it is the aqueous tension. And this state, when the rate of evaporation is equal to the rate of condensation, is called as the equilibrium state. Now, water liquid is converted into water vapors. At equilibrium, the pressure exerted by the water vapors or molecules, gaseous molecules of water, remains constant at constant temperature. And this is known as the saturated vapor pressure of water or aqueous tension. And as the temperature increases, vapor pressure also increases. Now, let us consider the second equilibrium, that is the solid-liquid equilibrium. Now, this is very nicely studied by taking a mixture of ice and water at 273 Kelvin or 0 degree centigrade in a thermos flask. Now, that is the example of solid-liquid equilibrium. So, consider a mixture of ice and water in a perfectly insulated thermos flask. Perfectly insulated means no heat goes from outer side to the inner side or from inner side to the outer side. There is the lining of the insulator at the walls of the thermos flask. So, at 273 Kelvin or 0 degree centigrade, the ice and the water mixture remains there. And it is an example of the solid-liquid equilibrium. Ice and water are at constant temperature. They remains in what is called as the solid-liquid equilibrium. Now, third one is the solid-vapor equilibrium. Solid-vapor equilibrium. And the best example is, take the iodine crystal in a closed container. You know that iodine is the sublimated substance and it sublimates, and that means the solid iodine directly convert into the gaseous iodine. Now at the room temperature, that is the sublimation. So that is the example of solid vapor equilibrium. Now place some iodine crystal in a closed vessel or container. Observe the change in the color intensity in it. After some time, the vessel gets filled with the violet colored vapors, because iodine is violet in color and there is the violet colored vapors in the conical flask or closed container, and the intensity of the violet color becomes stable after certain time. First it get that is, it increases and increases, and after some time the intensity of violet color becomes stable. And there is the solid iodine and iodine vapors are in a closed container at that time, and that means there is the equilibrium between the solid and the gaseous state or solid and the vapor state. It means solid iodine sublimates to give the iodine vapor, and the iodine vapor condenses to form the solid iodine again. And this stable intensity of the color indicates a state of equilibrium between the solid iodine and vapor iodine. And we can write as that the iodine solid is converted into iodine gas, that is the conversion of solid iodine into the gas is the sublimation, and again conversion of gaseous iodine to the solid iodine is called as the condensation. Now camphor is the another example of solid vapor equilibrium, because camphor also convert into the vapor or gaseous camphor. And ammonium chloride, you know, for the that is in the that is the ammonium chloride is used for the, that is brass utensils to that is to give lightening to the inner side. That is, there is the it is also called as the inner lining is converted into ammonium chloride of that utensils, of the brass utensil, and due to that there is no any defect into the cooking system. Now this is ammonium chloride NH4Cl. It is also converted. This is also it also sublimates, and it also sublimates into the gaseous ammonium chloride. Now these are some examples. Now here we are seeing here that there is the equilibrium between these physical state of the substances. So this is the examples of physical equilibrium in physical processes. Now if students, you learn this equilibrium in the physical processes, also the reversible and irreversible reaction very well, then you can subscribe, you can like and share this video to the other students, and also tell them to subscribe. Thank you.